I'm not sure which one I'm holding on to. Too many devices here. NJIT, we are in Newark, New Jersey, and we have several colleges, College of Arts and Sciences, Engineering, Computer Science, and the School of Business where I am. And this presentation is based on a course that we teach in the School of Business called Decision Support Systems. Whoops. Not changing. That one. Okay, good. Okay. This is the lessons learned part of this particular course and program. The program was basically presented at another conference another time, and we've looked at the student comments and what we started to learn from this thing. And it's really what we were doing is teaching business intelligence. And in teaching business intelligence, we were trying to look at it from the point of view of both decision support systems for decision makers making decisions, and from business intelligence using the new tools that are available and that are out there at the same time. Basically here is that users and managers know their data. Well, this is one of the things that I think we've all kind of realized, that a lot of our managers, a lot of our users really don't understand what their data really is all about. So business intelligence and decision support systems here is trying to understand the business and the academic literature at the same time. And we basically had the students read Harvard Business Review and a couple other journals to understand what it really meant to be making decisions and how to start to using this particular data. And we wanted them to be able to utilize these skills to develop and solve critical business problems. Some specific objectives we have were to develop the ability to make effective presentations, to develop the analytical skills necessary to solve problems, to develop familiarity and competence with business software packages, and there were several that we are using on this. And here to also understand the varied use of technology within the business context. Specific objectives were to recognize when information is needed, and then to locate it efficiently, being able to find it efficiently, to evaluate its relevance and authoritativeness and validity, and then to use it to build new knowledge. This is what decision making is all about, and then to be able to communicate that knowledge. And so what we did have in this particular course was we had them to, as I said, read and discuss some business articles published in Harvard Business Review and a couple other journals in here, find business data. This seems so obviously simple, but it was so complicated for some of the students, they could not really find any business data to work with. Some of them, and most of them were employed. They were afraid to ask their managers, afraid to ask their companies, and very difficult for them. Then we needed them to develop some Excel models, develop SPSS models in here, and then to put these into the context of business intelligence in either using Cognos, Tableau, MicroStrategy, or a new product that's out there by Microsoft called Power BI. And here are some of the results. Building models in Excel, continuing with these, putting them into Access, being able to turn them around. SPSS models, graphic models. Here's Tableau versus Cognos and visualization kinds of tools. More visualization tools in Tableau and Cognos. Some of these things became quite interesting and quite unique, as you can see here. SPSS models, being able to move data in and out of CSV files, Excel files, import it. And one student team did a phenomenal job and really started doing regression in R, using Tableau to look at cost versus cargo kinds of things, duration of policies, more models in SPSS, more models in Tableau, and one in Power BI. Well, what did we get from all this? What did they get from all of this? Well, business intelligence and analytics becoming very important. Having knowledge of data and business intelligence can help them make better decisions, better decision processes in here. And it gives them opportunities, to deal with data. Some benefits. BI is acquire a better ability to measure and therefore measure more precisely than in previous practices, leveraging new technology and understanding the mechanics behind the data. Some of the contributions from these things that every company's goal is to grow and to expand. They want to be able to look at this data and be able to utilize it. Integrate relevant big data. However, big data alone is will not suffice. And business intelligence systems combine the operational data as well as the analytical tools in here, so it can improve the timeliness and the quality of decision making that the students will be doing. What are some of the insights? Well, two big things in here. One of them before the course and then, of course, after the course. Before the course, the students really did not understand what data was. They had very little exposure to it, very little practice with it. Maybe they had some in undergraduate school. These are all graduate students in here. The data was really new to them. They maybe understood soccer or baseball or something like that, but not really in terms of a business context. But they all realized that their organizations were moving towards analyzing data. They all were aware of that. And so after the project, they were surprised at what data really was and what they could start to do with it. They started to see a seamless transition going from things like Excel to SPSS and then into the business intelligence tools, Cognos and Tableau. And this last little thing in here, the data was no longer scary to them. They started to feel comfortable with it. Some comments. The course added real-world value in terms of utilizing data, utilizing the tools necessary to make some decisions in here. Obviously, they gained an understanding of what business intelligence was all about. Most said that the software was easy to use and to learn. Yeah, of course, some's going to struggle with this, and that's the case. And students were very favorable about the course, and they were very favorable about being able to learn business intelligence kinds of things. These are basically the comments from that. I'm not going to read these things to you or anything like that. They're available in the paper as well as in the presentations in here. Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Time for a couple.
Anybody? Okay.
So you feel that getting them to immerse themselves, almost learning by research, learning by doing, is incredibly valuable.
Well, clearly, from the point of view of the students in here, that's what they were able to do. They started to really working on the project, and they got excited about it, and they started learning what data really was. Now, even though the initial walkthrough for their data, they hadn't got a clue as to what to do with it. But when they started working together, they were able to put these things together and go very seamlessly from Excel to SPSS and then into the
And as you said earlier on, that some of them couldn't find data, didn't know about data. How did that happen? How did you get those students to then realize that they could actually find interesting data?
Well, we started slow. We started them with just working with SPSS. And in being able to do that, they could see that what data was. And I was able to give them some good examples of both business data and baseball data. We used the Major League Baseball network information to show them how simple it was to understand which position hit more home runs than the other one. You know, so
Okay,
sorting is one of those things, and doing other things as well.
Any more questions? Okay, thanks. Well, thanks very much, Jerry.